Hi everyone, here's your Master Division free-to-play, free video guide for qualifying and of course final round for the Canada 9-hole Cup, because the winds are not changing on this one. A thumb up would be much appreciated, and make sure you're subscribed as well. As always, take your time, put some tweaks in as well to get the best possible results. Very important with free-to-play, and of course it is going to be slightly trickier to qualify than the previous free entry tournament, but still absolutely worth a shot, so give it a go. And if you're thinking about it as well, you could even upgrade yourself to a premium ball as well to increase your drop rate. But see how you go and adapt the suggestions here to your club's balls and play style. Good luck everyone. Here we go with hole number 1. We're going to start by sending it on hole 1. We're setting up at the top of plus 24 with APOC 5 and above. And we're having with APOC 5 and 6 half of the blue ring inside the rough on the right. Then we're adding 5.8 top spin and 1 bar side spin to the left. This is APOC 4 friendly, in which case you will be at P5 max rest, and you will have 20% of the blue ring on the fairway, 80% of it in the rough. We're going to adjust a maximum distance with 5% elevation, power 5 numbers, and then after that we do need to make a bit of a push up here. In the end here for the adjustment, I pull 10 rings first and then push the remaining rings because the trees are otherwise in the way. So if you've got time for that, I would recommend you do so. APOC 5 and above, we're pushing back up to plus 24. APOC 4, you've got to push back up to max, unfortunately. So it is going to be a shaky needle even with APOC 5 and above. Full overpower, no curl. And then we're going to hit perfect on this one. Of course, great balls may be in danger here, so play at your own risk in the interest of keeping it free to play. That's the suggestion I'm making to you, but of course there are other routes available. And you've got to write down your drive distance. Now this second shot is from a different drive than you saw in the replay, but the principle is exactly the same. We're going to go with 1 backspin and 1 left spin. In the video here, I'm aiming with the ball guide 1 green square short of the hole. However, this comes in too hot and unfortunately we skip over the hole. So I would suggest you either aim further back or increase your backspin. Either way, we need the ball guide to be shorter than it is here in the video. So take a token and tweak. 480 yard drive, going to play at 57% slider, 20% elevation, 2% per yard. So if your drive was 470, then you're 10 yards further away, you'd actually play 77% slider instead, because the drive distance can vary. As you can see, just coming in too hot and bouncing out once we hit the pin there on this par 4. Right, we're going to play with the rock here. We're going with 3 bars of backspin, and then we're going to find our position with the bullseye over the final pixel of rough before you get the long bounce from the fairway, and you want a small gap between the right edge of the ball guide and the left edge of the hole. This is a tricky one and will need wind angle tweaks, so please practice this one. 1-to-1 plus 0.3. So here my wind is 11.4. I'm going to adjust 11.7 rings, and we're making 2 pulls over the bullseye. Like I said, this does need wind angle tweaks. If you are not adjusting or setting up accurately, you risk staying in the rough or missing the rough. It is one of those touchy shots. Finally, we need to go with circle break underpower. If you forget that, you are going to end up in the sand. There's no two ways about it. If you don't fancy it, of course, you can play standard bounce over as you would in tour play. But if you've got this one right and dialed in, you've got a good chance for a hole in one with a kingmaker. Right, safely to green for the eagle here, outside chance of the albatross. APOC 5 and above, top of plus 10, APOC 5 and 6, half of the red ring inside the rough on the left. Then we are adding 3 left spin only. APOC 4 will have 80% of the red ring inside the rough on the left and will be at P3 max rest. We push rings because otherwise all the rocks and the trees and goodness knows what else are in the way, and that adjustment is max plus 10. If you are worried about a dodgy push angle or inadvertent overpower, then I would recommend you add 0.2 backspin to safeguard against rolling too long. Half a ball of curl to the left, no overpower. Very important, no overpower. Hitting perfect, tracking nicely down the fairway, and we're rolling here, not actually threatening the rough to be honest, 337, so you may not need the couple of clicks of backspin. Second shot with our sniper, going with 3.5 backspin and 3 bars side spin to the right, setting up at max distance, red ring touching the rough. If you've got sniper 9, I would recommend you still set up at max, but you'll be 2 yards further back, so you might want to come off the backspin by a couple of clicks just to compensate for the lack of distance. Max plus 15, sniper 10, numbers regardless of your club level, and we're making our adjustment here. And as you can see here in the video, make sure you do the same. 2 pulls over the bullseye, power 3 settings. Finally, in the video here, I go with outer wall curl to the right. You can tweak this if you want a closer look at the albatross, it's up to you, but primary objective here was to give you a safe to green for the eagle. Obviously less curl if you want to go for the albatross. Summer Major next week, get yourself prepared. Look at my free playthrough. General wind directions for pro and expert. Look out for it on the channel as a rookie one as well, and there will be expert content all week to help you do well in the Summer Major on the newly reworked Porthello Cove. A little tweak needed here. Before spin, we're going to set up with the red ring touching the rough and the ball guide through the hole. Then I add my spin, and in the end I settle on 1.2 backspin and 1.1 left spin. And the 1.2 backspin, it's just at the first point where the second bounce clips the rough. So just vary it a click. If you go 1 click less than that, you'll see a longer ball guide. You want to be the one before that, where that ball guide gets clipped away. Rewind the video and you'll see the reference that I'm referring to. Mid plus 30, power 3 settings, using sniper 10 numbers, and once again 2 pulls over the bullseye. Now this will need a little bit of a tweak here. I had to go a few other places doing free-to-play setups, but this was the most consistent. Obviously if you get more headwind, you might need a click of overpower to make sure you clear the rough, and it is going to be tough to drop this one, but there is a chance, I will believe, with a tweak. As you can see, bouncing, clearing the rough just about, and just missing on the left edge, but the speed is good there on this par 3. We're going to make an NMT drive, so load the hole with your APOC and your Kingmaker, pack the sniper, and it's an NMT setup. We are going here with 5.5 topspin, and then we're going to adjust max plus 10, as simple as that. Max plus 10, power 3. So NMT, nice and simple. Once you've adjusted, and only with APOC 4, you will need to push up, and that amount is 1.7 rings, and that's to make up with the fact that you've got 6 yards less power than APOC 5 and above. So if you've got APOC 4, 1.7 ring push up after you've adjusted. That said, centre the ball, hit perfect, and then this is going to track very nicely down the fairway. And then we're setting up a second bounce rough bump with a sniper. Now we've got your turn written on the notepad. We need to look at our plus yards exactly when it's our shot, and you'll see the game, it will say your turn, then we look at the plus yards. So they can see plus 5 displayed before we move the target. So that's the reference we need for our slider. Then I add my spin, and I'm going with 1.5 topspin, and it's a kind of heavy 1.5. So if you're looking at between 1.4 and 1.6 visually, settle on the 1.6 side rather than the other one. Ball guide going to the hole, second bounce in the rough there, and then for a plus 5 your turn check. We're playing this 55% slider, 15 elevation. That would equate to plus 7 with sniper 9 because you've got 2 yards less power. So 55 on the slider, 15 on the elevation, and it's time to make our adjustment here, which we are going to do now, and it's going to be 2 pulls over the bullseye, so try and make your pulls as consistent as possible. And there we go. Time to take our shot, and again, of course, you've got the battle trying to hit perfect with the wood club in Master. Easier said than done. Thankfully, I managed to get one away here. Perfect ball, and this one, in fact, drops very nicely for an albatross. First bounce the fairway, second bounce the rough. rolling on the green and falling for the albatross on this par 5. This one will need wind angle tweaks. Unfortunately, we've got to go with the extra mile level 9 to keep this one with a kingmaker. So with the EM9, red ring touching the rough on the left at the top of +2. Then I'm adding max top spin and as much right spin possible without losing any of the top spin. Once I've done that, adjust max +10 power 3. We're pushing the rings. Otherwise, the greenery is very sadly in the way if you're going to adjust rings normally. Now, if you've got APOC 7 and above, once you've adjusted, then you can then swap to your APOC 7 Plus, because of course it will give you better accuracy, which is something we don't really have with EM9. Max overpower, unfortunately, a 1.5 ball curl to the right. Try and hit perfect. Now, if you've got a side spin 3 ball with power 4, power 5, switch to that after you adjust if you want to take it out of free to play, as that will give you a slower needle, but all being well, you're going to emerge from the rough for a wedge or a putt. If you're enjoying the free content and want to help keep it free and support the channel here, head over to patreon.com/BK Golf Clash. Loads of different membership levels, all have the same perks. You get wind charts early, you get elevation sheets, exclusive content as well, episodes of my club guide series up there as well. So plenty to help you out as membership perks if you want to help support the channel. 2 options here on hole 7. The first is the aggressive. Only play it if you are happy with the risk. Max top spin, 1 right spin with the extra mile, level 9 and a kingmaker. Goodness me. Then it's time to find our position. Bullseye over the rough. The first pixel of rough where you get that ball guide pointing dead at the pin, it will be stopping. A couple of green squares short. Now this one is wind angle tweak needed, and it may well take you into more overpower. So to be honest, I would definitely put a token or 2 on this one, and if possible try it with a wind 4 ball. Max +10 power 3 takes me in to about half a ring of OP. In this case, I am going to apply here, you can see, just before circle break overpower. Try and hit perfect, untested with great left, great right. If you're not happy with it though, for goodness sake, play the other option. You can see that is absolutely so close to the rough. Any margin of error there, you're going to be in danger. If you want the safe option, here it is with the rock. We are going with 1 backspin, 2 right spin first. Then I find my position in that little sticky spot with the ball guide just left of the cup. It's a bit tricky to find that, so practice this one if you can. Then we respin. And we are respinning here to 0.6 top spin and 2.6 right spin. A bit difficult to be accurate here with those weird spins, but don't dawdle. You've got the shot clock to deal with, of course. Adjustment, thankfully, is simple. You don't need your wind app, so that's saving you a couple of seconds. 1-to-1 minus 0.2. So 11.6 in wind, I'm adjusting 11.4 rings, pulling this one over the bullseye. Not going to be any overpower with the rock 8 or the rock 9. Centering the ball and hitting perfect. This is a very tough shot to dial in, but like I said, it's primarily a safe to green job. Outside chance of the hole in 1, and we're only using a kingmaker, and I must say there is no risk with this shot. Just unfortunately parking up on the right hand side on this occasion. Right, time to send it to green. Lovely wind angle here. Stretch out. P5, max extension. Aim between those 2 bunkers there. Look at the blue arrows. Get your finger right in the middle of those bunkers. Then we add our spin. 1.5 backspin. 2 bars of left spin. Time to adjust max +5. Power 5 settings. Now the jetty and the boat or whatever can get in the way in certain wind angles, so try and zoom in and be accurate if you can. Making our adjustment here, and we're doing 2 pulls over the bullseye. Then we've got to do a push-up. I'm not looking at the rings because you can't see them. I'm instead looking at the plus yards, and I'm going back up to the top of +14. APOC 4, you will go to the top of +20. Then it's time to take our shot. Full overpower with a slowish needle. Outer wall curl to the left. Perfect ball away. This will bounce very nicely in the rough and roll out to the green or the fringe. Be wary of a great left here though. Don't hit great left. But there you've got a simple wedge for your eagle, but please put some tweaks in as well. Hole 9, tricky one. I've got to use a luminary, unfortunately, and we're using the rock, and we're going to lay up. 1 bar of backspin. And with the rock level 8, I actually set up at the top of plus 17. Ball guide pointing down the middle of the fairway there, you can see in the tree shadow. Rock level 9 will be at the top of plus 16, so make sure you get those references correct for your club level. I want to be as close to the rough without risking the rough. Might need some wind angle adjustments as well, so if you can possibly take a token, it would be advisable. Max plus 10, power 5. We've got plenty of room to adjust here. Obviously the flowers or whatever are getting in the way a little bit there, but do what you can. So max plus 10, P5, centre the ball and hit perfect. Don't have any inadvertent OP, otherwise you may land in the rough, because the end of this fairway slopes down, so you've got to be really careful on this one. It's a bit of a precision layup. Rolling very nicely down there, drive distance, you want to be around 318. Second shot, I had to go at the rough bump. We're safely on the green. Honestly, though, I didn't threaten the flag, unfortunately. If you want to tweak it, you can. 2 top spin, 1 left spin. Aiming here with all of the red ring inside the rough, but obviously different wood clubs may vary. So you want either the Cataclysm or the Big Dog. Make sure you haven't got the Sniper because you're not going to reach. I offset 1 green square right. It's nowhere near enough. We need more offset. You can judge that on the outcome of the video here. But we're playing landing position plus yards with 10% elevation. Plus 16, I'm playing this 86% slider. Unfortunately, in more headwind angles, or if you've got a shorter drive, you might pull into overpower, in which case you need to factor that in. Tweak as needed. Now, I didn't pull into any overpower when I adjusted there, but as a default, I'm going with, and you can see it here, I'm just finding the point just before the circle drops. If you adjust into overpower, then add that on to your base of just before circle drop OP. You don't want to be short, just catch the rough and get on the green. If you want to tweak it, aim further right for the albatross. Very tricky for free to play. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.